out before you get started. No surprises, no stress, just beautiful results. Done right the first time. Visit foreverremodeling.com. That's the number 4, EVER, remodeling.com. And schedule your free in-home consultation today.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
My next guest is a victim, as I see him, a victim of a election theft and a government cover-up. That's how I describe the victims of the persecuted January 6th participants. But he's an unlikely participant. He's somebody who was simply asked to go there, and I don't think he did anything of any consequence that even get him a charge, not even a trespass. John Strand's new book, Patriot Plea, The J6 Journey of a Political Prisoner in Divided States of America. John, how are you?
I'm great, Shaun. Thank you so much for having me on. It is an honor.
Well, it's my honor, and this is something that has been so obvious to the people who watched. And I do not just mean because we have evidence of propaganda
Right.
and media bastardizing what happened that day.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen.
And if anybody was there that heard the real speech, if anybody was there to give any kind of interpretation that did not fit the narrative of an insurrection, which is a word that they started to use shortly after they shut down the count to steal the election in Democrat mafia areas.
That's right.
Then you were put on ice. And you know what I always said, John? I know it wasn't an insurrection. I wasn't there. I'm dead serious. This is outrageous how they tried to intimidate Americans and how they tried to rewrite a narrative, not only rewrite a narrative, but how they got away with stealing the election in the first place.
Yeah, that's even the greater crime, honestly, Shaun. But the January 6th Fedsurrection, which I think is an accurate term, I describe it as our American Reichstag fire moment. So for those that know their history for World War II, that the Nazis actually instigated a burning of a government building in order to justify the onset of a totalitarian regime. And that's how I view the Biden regime, as a totalitarian force that truly weaponized the government against innocent American citizens. And I certainly was one of them caught up in that mess.
And how many of the people who voted for Joe Biden call themselves the National Socialist Worker Party, which is Nazi. So it really fits right in the whole narrative. But you were somebody. It's an interesting story, right? You were an actor, right? Not just in Hollywood, but you were an actor. And how did it all get started? Take us to the plan. Was it something you were very political and you were involved and you knew the election was stolen and you were protesting? How did it work?
I would say yes and no. And my story is, I think, kind of a classic American story in some ways, and it's very unconventional and interesting in others. Of course, I tell the whole life story in the book, Patriot Plea, which people can find johnstrand.com/book. And it's going to blow your mind. It really is. But my story starts in California. I was born there in an Italian-American family. My dad served in the U.S. Navy. And I grew up in a homeschooling environment that gave me a lot of freedom and creativity. So I was an artist early on, got into music and then modeling and acting. And I was working as a self-made actor in Hollywood and a model in New York and overseas. But COVID completely not only turned the world upside down, but really put a kibosh on my career trajectory. But also, I found a moment where I could have just waited things out, but I saw the onset not just of COVID totalitarianism, but the BLM Marxism that was infiltrating our culture and just destroying the minds of our youth and putting our country on a trajectory for disaster. So I started a freedom rally in Beverly Hills and Los Angeles area that President Trump tweeted out, blew up, and put me on a pathway to work as a creative director for a nonprofit called America's Frontline Doctors, who
I love
in
it.
itself. Yeah, amazing organization.
Simone Gold, right? Or no, is that?
That's right.
Yeah.
So Dr. Simone Gold founded that. It totally changed the narrative on COVID, saved thousands, if not tens of thousands of lives. And through that journey, I have completely changed my whole life, but that's what brought me to the Capitol. So when you said I didn't do anything wrong, of course, you're correct. I did something right, though. I was supposed to be there scheduled in my professional capacity, and I protected a speaker in a crowd, ultimately, for a rally with a government-approved permit. And then, of course, in the aftermath of the following week, when we realized, oh, they set us up, and they're telling a lot of lies and doing a lot of dirty things here, I kind of braced myself, but I never could have imagined that I would be assaulted by an FBI SWAT team where they splintered my front door with a battering ram in downtown Beverly Hills, mind you, and then disappeared me in jail for 4 days without a phone call before we finally got me bonded out. And I realized I was facing a 20-year felony. And then they gave me what I call a golden parachute plea deal of a single misdemeanor. So who turns that down?
Yes, and it's funny. Dr. Simone Gold is a wonderful lady, and I've had the opportunity to talk to her about how she was involved in changing and fighting up against it, much like yourself. But I'm sure you've heard in your neighborhood, John. I mean, after all, I grew up, I'm only half Italian, but I grew up in an Italian neighborhood, and the FBI, my whole life, was called Forever Bothering Italians. So you're not the first Italian to get rousted by the feds. Did they have their hair parted to the side, a bunch of guys with an O in front of their last name?
Oh man, they were all like shock jock troops. I mean, it was crazy.
Now,
it was very traumatizing and terrifying, actually, and I detail that in the book, so you can learn exactly what happened there. Outrageous abuse of government force, yeah.
So are you the Luca Brasi of Beverly Hills? I'm curious because I ask you this, right? The FBI has access to all kinds of information. So, for instance, if they would run a background check on me, you'd see a few batteries, a couple of assaults, some eye biting. They'd see my whole rap sheet, so they might say, boy, oh boy, we got to go in heavy with this guy. So I saw a picture of you. You're a handsome son of a gun, but you don't look like Luca Brasi. You don't look like somebody who could give Jackie Chan an ass kicking. How many coppers? What is the rap sheet? Give me a little breakdown in the badass that John Strand is, would you?
Oh man! Well, this is what I'll tell you. I'm running for Congress in Florida 19, which is a whole nother story. But of course, when you get into politics, they're going to try to find any way to smear you and tear you down. So I'm sure you can brace yourself for a whole remash of the John Strand greatest hits in the modeling and acting world.
Yeah, but did you have a rap sheet? Were you a criminal before? I mean, if they come in strong, and I say this because you come in strong.
Oh, yeah.
When you come in strong like this, there's a reason, right? FBI guys, they come and talk to you. First off, in my neighborhood, you say nothing. But when they come and talk to you, they have nothing normally. So if they wanted to question you and they would have sent two morons in cheap suits to knock on the door, it would have been a question and they would have left. But if you come in with a tech team, it's because they feel threatened. They feel you're a threat. And do you have a rap sheet? Do you have a rap sheet of violence and guns and all that?
No, none whatsoever. So my rap sheets, it's like the pages in that paper or that book by I'm forgetting the guy from Daily Wire, Michael
Knowles.
His name, but
Knowles.
Yeah, Michael Knowles. He writes the book. Basically, what's the Democrat playbook, and it's filled with a bunch of empty white pages.
No, I mean it is so ridiculous how they did this to people and how they intimidated. And by the way, John, you're probably, I don't know, the 8th or 9th guy I've had on, and I remember all of them. And one of them that's heartbreaking. Well, there are two that are really, but they're all heartbreaking. But one that sticks out.
Yeah, sure.
Some guy who was never really political. He just, did better under Trump, and he saw the thing was election. He was a contractor. He worked for a contractor. He was out of work, got laid off. So his buddy says,
Yep.
Come on, let's go to J6. All right, I'm going to go to J6. He had a family, nice life. He sat in the cooler for 24 months, never got to talk to a lawyer because he didn't have any money, didn't have anybody to call.
Yeah.
In solitary for 2 years. The atrocities that happened in this country to cover up that election theft, which to the day I die, and you want to know something, John? I never wavered. That dimwit in diapers, Joe Biden, stole the rat bastard election. So you're running for Congress now after you wrote the book. But the plea deal, so they come to you, they roust you. How long did you sit in the cooler?
So I was disappeared for 4 days, got out, faced the charges in the plea deal, rejected the plea deal immediately, never wavered on that, even though I knew I would be taking a 20-year felony on the chin. And that's simply because there's never a right time to do the wrong thing, Shaun. That's what I believe. That's how I live my life. And I knew not only was this a lie, but a weapon against the innocent and a betrayal of American citizens. So I wouldn't stand for that. I went to prison, but I appealed because I didn't take that plea deal, and I won. I was vindicated at the Supreme Court in the Fisher decision, which was a miracle itself. And then they tried to get me to fold on the rest of the charges, and I said, have you met me before?
Good for you.
So we continue to appeal until we get all 5 charges vacated. That means annulled. They don't exist. The DOJ reversed them as if they'd never happened. So I wasn't pardoned. I was exonerated legally. I have no record still, before, during, and after now. And I am, fresh as the clean driven snow, legally speaking. So now I'm taking that, I actually had a lawyer come into the prison and in my prison jumpsuit signed papers to begin the process for running for office. God laid it on my heart while I was there to do that. It's not anything I ever imagined I would do, but clearly we need men of courage and faith to get back in the government, Shaun, and lead our nation back to the fundamentals of freedom. It's the only way we're going to reclaim the republic, which is our mission at johnstrand.com.
This is my district. I live in this district.
Florida 19?
Yeah. It's
Out.
Byron Donald's seat you're running for.
Byron Donalds, that's right. He's running to be the next governor of Florida. Byron is a fierce and principled and consistent conservative, so I'm proud of his work in that lane, and I'm excited to see him lead the free state of Florida to new heights as we lead the nation in resetting the standard for American constitutional governance, and that's definitely what I'm excited about doing in Florida 19 and taking that district to a whole nother level as well.
So what's funny is that I moved there. I had a business there for a while because I was in the real estate business before radio. And I didn't hate anybody enough to sell them real estate in Illinois. I couldn't in good conscience. Practice real estate. I'm that serious because to me it's about the money. It's about the money, right? So I always liked Florida, but I liked other places, and I did a lot of research on where to live. And one of the things I like about my county where I live now, the fewest registered Democrats in Florida, Collier County. Fantastic.
Yep, Collier's amazing. I chose Collier specifically because of the commitment to law and order by Sheriff Rambosk and because of the commitment to patriotism and meritocracy of Alfie Oakes at Oakes Farms and Seed to Table, who has proudly endorsed John Strand, Patriot for Congress.
Did he
very
really?
Excited about that.
Oh yeah. I know Alfie well. I'm there 3 times a week. I absolutely love it.
Oh my goodness.
And
we got a killer event on March 10th, Seed to Table with General Michael Flynn, who's endorsed us, and Alfie Oakes and Dr. Simone Gold, so don't miss it.
Don't miss it. I'm coming. What are you, nuts? I'm coming. Those are all my people.
Oh, my God. It'll be so great to see you.
Looking for – and I met Flynn. I had the pleasure of meeting him at Mar-a-Lago after they stole the 2020 election. Our station was invited. A lot of hosts were invited, and I went. And, it was amazing to have to tolerate that theft. And I say this being from Chicago, which bragged for my whole life. They bragged how they stole the election for JFK. This idea that we could not audit that vote. I still can't stand the fact that these scum, these Democrat lawyers that orchestrated this, these Chicago mafia wired up clout pigs that stole it, they think they got away with it. I can't tolerate it.
And the judges who said we don't have standing. And, of course, then the Supreme Court said, yeah, you do. Too little, too late. But
shocks the world. Shocks the world, too big to rig, right? Because, listen, if he beat Kamala in these mafia areas, that's at least 3-1 because the system is set up for 2-1 to tie, right? They protect the infrastructure. So
that's right.
What you see now, because I want you, John. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm absolutely going to support you, and I'm going to vote for you.
Thank you.
I mean, after all,
thank you.
They got Oberweis, who's from Illinois. He's an Illinois Republican. He's very good at making milkshakes and excuses. Yeah. He sucks at everything else. But feel free to use that in your commercial. But
sure.
The reality.
I might have you record one for me.
That's fine. The reality of what needs to happen now is that you have to make them pay. Sue everybody. I pull a Jerky Boys on. Sue everybody. Every prison guard, FBI agent that kicked your door in. Sue everybody. Is there any repercussion you can take?
Oh, Shaun. So our campaign plan for folks so they understand, like what Americans really need in Florida and across the nation is we need security, rule of law, affordability, obviously, and accountability. And that third one might be the one that really gets people going. Like, there is no accountability in government. We are sick and tired of government gangsters doing whatever the hell they want, and no one can touch them. It's got to end. So federal prosecutors who lied need to be held accountable. Judges that are rogue need to be held accountable. They need to be impeached. They need to be removed if they can't do their job with an ethical standard and apply equal justice under the law. So there is a lawsuit and a number of lawsuits going on related to the abuse that we endured for J6, and we need the public pressure to demand that the Trump administration understand that we need to negotiate that in a way that takes care of people that were harmed and that sets the record straight and provides accountability for government officials, especially, that abused their position, abused authority, and harmed innocent Americans, trampling constitutional rights. It can never happen again, Shaun. And I'm dedicated to making sure that happens in Congress.
Well, John, absolutely. And what I saw with somebody who, when he ran for president, I didn't support Giuliani. I didn't, because he was just too New Yorky on abortion. I'm dead set against it. But I admired what he had done in New York, and I admired what he had done in his creative nature to bust up syndicates in New York. I liked it.
Right.
But to watch those sloth fat pigs who helped steal the election in Fulton County, to watch them sue him into poverty, to where they took his fracking jewelry in his car. Me personally, I would have burnt everything down before I let those fat slobs get it. But those are the kind of people who have been victims of this, and I mean everybody that has been a victim of the election theft, sue these perpetrators, these Democrat assets. And by the way, I have this on my board, John. I have it in the ballots in all these Democrat fiefdoms when they shut it down. No chain of custody, no stamps, no seals, how they just pushed it through. Sue these sloths. They're not protected. They're not government workers. After all, you might end up with Rudy Giuliani's Rolex. Sue her.
Right. No, Shaun, the problem is that Republicans have not understood the need to use political power appropriately. So, we know well the terrible consequences of destructive Democrats, but also weak, feckless Republicans. So it is a uniparty establishment problem that we're all dealing with, whether it's Chicago, Naples, Florida, or anywhere else in the country. It is certainly that cowardice and corruption of the system that allowed myself and thousands of others to be destroyed by this Fedsurrection lie and hoax and stolen election debacle. And it's going to take every one of us as American citizens reasserting our authority as American citizens. This is our government. It belongs to us. It's an American constitutional republic, but it's been hijacked, and we have to fight like hell to take it back. So that's what we're going to do. That's what I encourage people in Patriot Plea.
Well, you absolutely have to. You absolutely have to. And the idea that there is anybody who thinks we should just let it go, which was always the plan, right? I mean, after all, we have forgotten about every scandal, every fraud, every election theft. We just move on. And that's a flaw in decent people. Decent people have to be prepared to persecute and prosecute the scum that want to upset the tranquility of our nation, that we were lucky enough to be born into. But over these last 18 years, the assault on Americanism and the principles of right and wrong, it cannot be tolerated.
Amen.
So I love what you're doing here, John, really. And good luck, and you beat the ice cream man, all right?
You got it, sir. JohnStrand.com. Tell folks to jump on board and help drive the ship with us, and we're going to get it done. We have got an exciting opportunity to put a patriot in Congress.
And now I'm going to see you, on the 10th. You tell Alfie, medium rare, something with a bone in it, all right?
March 10th, johnstrand.com/VIP. Come and get in there.
All right, tell him right upstairs I want the bone-in ribeye, medium rare. Tell Alfie I'll take care of it on the back end, okay?
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Shaun. Appreciate you.
You too. We'll be back with your calls and comments.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
If you owe the IRS or state